I wanted to apologize to humanity for voting for the Antichrist Obama. I deeply apologize. I used to be a Democrat. I was blue all my life. I was also pro-choice, and I was an atheist until January 21st of 2021. I had a sudden awakening. It was absolutely crazy. So I went from blue to red to MAGA, and I'm here, and I absolutely love it.
Well, I want to tell you, you don't have anything to apologize for. We all make mistakes in our life, and that's where God's grace comes in. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our citizens. We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Well, boy, oh boy, what's going on, family? I hope everybody that's tuned in right now that you are blessed, well, and healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. It's one love to the human race, and we are wishing everybody an amazing week. We're kicking off on this beautiful Monday. We got a lot of things to put on the show today, and this week is going to be a blast, man. But it's a complete disgrace. It's just a lot of craziness going on, heartbreaking, devastating things taking place right now, and it's coming from, once again, Democrats, liberals, these activists. These people don't even have sympathy for children, for people that lost their life in a flood, and the first thing they can do is blame it on Trump, the Trump cuts. And then it gets debunked that it's not Trump's fault, that they had extra staffers, that they were warned hours and hours in advance. We got that coming up on one of our next shows today. You don't want to miss it, but it's breaking the internet, and we're even seeing tons of people lose their jobs because of the things that they're posting on the internet. And their jobs catch it. These people in their communities, their family, friends, saying, hey, we know you don't like Trump or like conservatives and MAGA, but you went too far in your post. Children, young girls, children, adults, people have lost their lives. Lives have been devastated. And you come on here speaking that you have no sympathy. You get what you vote for. MAGA, Trump voters deserve this. They deserve to die, and people are losing their jobs. And you know what? I'm glad they are. It's a disgrace what we are seeing, y'all. It really is. But I want to send a huge shout out to Jennifer for sending me this video here. And you probably already read the title, but you won't believe which blue state is flipping red. Oh boy. But as you can see, man, a lot of people, there's one reason why a lot of people have a walkaway campaign, a walkaway story, from being Democrat to Republic, Independent, MAGA. Why so many people went out and voted for President Trump. People that don't even get involved got involved. They seen, the biggest scandal in American history. The auto pen gate, plugged the machine up into the wall. We didn't have a president. Didn't know who was running the country. No common sense. Stay woke, everybody. Stay woke. I tell you, man. We don't know what a woman is anymore. We don't know what a man is anymore. They pushed all this crap into the schools on your kids. Lives have been devastated. People lost everything. No common sense. No borders. Disastrous economy. Inflation. I tell you. You just can't make a complete mess left for President Trump. And everything he does and says, they're totally against. The man could cure cancer. He could cure this, that. They won't applaud. They won't clap. They won't even stand or clap for a little kid that just beat cancer. And y'all seen it live on television. And the first thing they could say when he went and hugged President Trump in the office, it was a photo op. Well, at least President Trump gave a damn. You know, call it what you want, photo op or this or that. At least he celebrated the kid live in front of everybody. But the only thing Democrats can stand up and clap for is the war, you know, for illegals, criminals. As much as y'all care for the criminals, we wish y'all cared this much about actual Americans. And it might be different. Your approval rating might be different. Things might be different for you, Democrats. It might be different for you. The party isn't recognizable. They say the party has went too far left. The party has left me. I am now an independent. I am now Republican. I'm now MAGA. You know? And there's stories like this all over the place. You know? But huge shout out to Jennifer for sending this over. We got some big things coming up in our next show, so you don't want to miss out. Make sure you subscribe. Join the family. Y'all are family, man. Y'all not fans, supporters, followers. We are family, man. You know? And we come on here. We agree to disagree. We're not going to always agree with everything President Trump says or this administration does. You know, there's things right. And like right now with the whole Epstein files, you know, we're going back and forth. And a lot of people don't like this. They don't like that. You know, a lot of people are calling a cover up and BS. And we're going to come on here and keep it real and report on what's actually going on and how people on the ground really, really feel and what they're talking about. That's the best part about this channel, you know. It's not Trump. Oh, Trump's is king, and we must, and everything is beautiful, sunshine and flowers. No, we're gonna come on here and keep it real. And we are rooting for America. We are rooting for President Trump. We are praying for this administration. We're praying for a better way of life for everybody, no matter what your skin color is. You know, we're praying. We want common sense, and common sense is back. You know, we see this whole American party Elon is proposing, and Elon not getting his way in this whole big beautiful bill, and how it's, you know, it's gotten real spicy these last couple of weeks because of the big beautiful bill. You know, and hey, and if things go you know, the wrong direction with after this bill is passed, we're gonna call everything out on this channel. We're gonna keep everybody held accountable on this channel, and we're gonna talk about it and have great conversations. And that's why I tell you guys, leave a beautiful comment down below. But enough of me yapping and rapping and japping. Let's get into it. I could talk up a storm. Y'all know this. I can talk up a storm, man. But we are starting Monday off on a good note. We got a lot of big things to get into in today, so let's go and rock out.
To celebrate with you as this day dawns, this amazing, this incredible, this very special golden age 4th of July. I mean, what a week. What an incredible week. What a month.
What a month.
A number of pundits are saying it. Even liberal ones, even Democrats are admitting that President Trump has had a month. Forget the week. He has had a month like no other president in modern political history. We're talking a MAGA month, unlike anything we have thus far seen. And again, he's not even freaking 6 months into his term. We got another 3.5 years to go, at least. At least Steve Bannon is still convinced we're going to figure out a way to run Trump again in 2028. But whether it's Trump, whether it's JD, it looks increasingly, by the way, like JD and Marco are the ticket. That's the golden ticket that's going to
Rubio
absolutely crush the Democrats. Their fake voters are deported. But I want to talk about that. I want us to savor the huge MAGA victories that we had over the course of this month like no other. And then I want to talk about what I think is actually the biggest breaking news going on in our nation right now. Is we've got a new state, a formerly blue state that is officially flipping red. And I'm not going to tell you which one just yet. I'm going to keep you guessing.
Oh, boy.
But we got the latest voter registrations in June. And frankly, it's beyond anything anyone could have predicted. So I'm going to give you two clues. This state is particularly relevant for today, the 4th of July. And secondly, if this state goes red, the Democrats will have been permanently locked out of executive power for the foreseeable future. How's that? All right. So put it in the chat below. Tell me what you think. Well, I've got all the stats. It's going to absolutely blow you away. But first, gang, if I may, look at Awaken, the collapse of globalism and the return to faith. Your copy, Awakened, answers the question. So globalist A values that collapse of renewal the world has ever seen, or a demographic collapse, precisely because secular liberals have stopped having more kids than ever. So return to faith, a return to family, called the patriot economy, is freeing more to build up a new flourishing American age. So we're seeing a renaissance in the media with X and Rumble and YouTube. We are the media now. We're seeing a revolution in money with Bitcoin and crypto, or revolution in computing, freeing increased real age for what many are calling a new techno-populist age, an age where faith, family, and freedom can finally flourish. And thanks to you, we're already #1 in a number of categories on Amazon. So thank you for that. So get your hands on your copy today. And for the patriots who are like, no, I go to Turley. Have a backyard chat about Trump's unbelievable month. And then I want to give you the stats on the latest state turning red. So as we sit here and soak up this beautiful 4th of July, Donald Trump has had, again, what many commentators and analysts are calling probably the best June of any modern president. We've just never seen anything quite like this. His trade policies and tariffs did not harm the economy, as the so-called experts predicted on CNN and on the other various news networks. There is no inflation. There is no unemployment spike. The economy is actually roaring. The Dow and NASDAQ are now at record highs. Prices are falling. Gas is at a four-year low. He just announced trade deals with China and Vietnam. Trump's border policies are perhaps the single most politically successful policies ever. Trump's border security measures haven't simply been successful. They have been astoundingly successful. There have been zero illegal entries across the southern border for 2 months straight. On the international front, there was no wider war with Iran. Most of Iran's nuclear enrichment programs have been curtailed. There were no mass American troop casualties. So many doomer MAGA types were predicting. In fact, Trump brokered a peace deal between Iran and Israel in the Middle East, as well as between the Congo and Rwanda in Africa, which was a war very few people were paying attention to. We did a video on it a couple of months back. It was a conflict that's been going on for 30 years, goes all the way back to the Rwandan genocide back in '94. It's a continuation, actually, of that conflict. Many of the Hutus that were doing the killing escaped to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and they were basically reamassing to try to take over Rwanda again. So Rwandan forces have been fighting for 30 years, these Hutu rebels. That 30-year conflict, gang, is now officially over thanks to Donald J. Trump. Again, this is something the legacy media is just never going to tell you. So make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button so you're always going to get everyday information like this. You got NATO leaders calling Trump daddy. Daddy's home. Even agreeing to double their GDP contributions to NATO. They actually thanked Trump for that, for making them pay double what they've been paying. You got the Supreme Court going his way, finally putting an end to those national injunctions by those ridiculous rogue judges that Trump can now completely ignore. And they even gave him the green light to deport criminal illegal migrants to so-called third countries like South Sudan, when their countries of origin don't want them back. And then the cherry on the top of it all, of course, is what happened yesterday with the big, beautiful bill, this extraordinary bill being passed in Congress and signed into law today by President Trump. Remember, this is the signature bill that had absolutely everything that Trump wanted to enshrine MAGA as a permanent part of the federal and national political infrastructure. Tax cuts now, remember, are permanent. They are permanent. It expands ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It expands ICE by a factor of 20. So it goes from $2 billion allocation to $45 billion allocated. That's 20 times the agents, 20 times the arrests. You're going to need 400 more alligator Alcatrazes after today. ICE now has a budget that exceeds the military spending of 99% of the nations on the planet. It's true. I think there's only 2 or 3 other nations in the world that have a larger military budget than our ICE agents and border security have as of today. That's why Hakeem Jeffries was freaking out yesterday, saying that this budget was going to put all these mass deportations on steroids. I mean, he literally said that. You think the 1.5 million people that have already been deported or self-deported in the last 5 months is bad? Wait until this budget passes and ICE expands by a factor of 20. 20 times more agents, 20 times more arrests. This is why the Democrats are absolutely flipping out as what happened yesterday. Planned Parenthood, they've been completely defunded at the federal level. They lost 60% of their multi-billion-dollar funding as of today. The Democrats' entire political apparatus has just been completely dismantled. And keep in mind how astonishing the speed of this was. The last time we saw a revolutionary budget like this was with Reagan back in 1981. And it helped launch the Reagan Revolution that defined our economy and much of our politics literally for the next 2 generations. I mean, the only way the Democrats could win another presidential election in the shadow of Reagan was with a Southern Democrat campaigning as a political moderate, as a centrist. The days of the McGoverns and the Carters and the Mondales, they were over, again, at least for that extended time period. But what we have to understand is that that budget, what was called the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1981, that wasn't signed into law by Reagan until August. It didn't pass until late July. And in Trump's first term, his signature legislation, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, that wasn't signed into law until December of 2017. So I say that to provide some historical context here. Again, we have not seen anything quite like this before. Trump signing an omnibus package, a signature legislative package this early in his term, on the 4th of July to boot. So to say that June has been the best month of any president in modern political history is not even remotely an exaggeration. We are living through historic times. This really is the new American golden age, and it just got better. We now have a blue state that is now officially flipping. It's officially becoming Republican. Again, 2 clues. Who knows it? Put in the chat. It has something very special to do with the 4th of July. And once it flips, the Democrats will be permanently locked out of executive power for the foreseeable future. Who knows which state? I got the stats. You're going to absolutely love this. It's going to make your 4th of July. Can I do one more plug before I do it? Please. I love it. Even look at the picture of me in the back. Oh, it's so cute. This is my brand new book, America Awakened, The Collapse of Globalism and the Return to Faith, Family, and Freedom. It is officially launching today. So please grab America Awakened. Again, I wrote this book with you in mind. This is a book on the new American golden age. It answers the question of precisely what is this golden age, and we're entering into what's called a turning our nation back to the timeless of globalism. We're seeing the single greatest religious renewal. The world. I'm
trying to get to. I think I know what state he's talking about, but I want to get into this. So sorry if I'm kind of just I want to y'all know we got them pages want to get to the steak and potatoes. Steve, I'm sorry. Hell, they want to get to the steak and potatoes.
Family, I show you how that religious renewal collapse, return to faith. We got a patriot economy that's freeing more and more Americans from the conflict. American, the rise of money. We get in a whole section on little fly around the old liberal industrial age for what many are flourish. And thanks to you, like I mentioned earlier, we're already #1 in a number of categories on Amazon. So get your hands on your copy today. Today, July the 4th. Our official law, you and mine. Or go to turley.pub. Did you guess it? The state that is now officially flipping to the GOP is the great state of Pennsylvania, my backyard here, the very birthplace of the 4th of July.
Pennsylvania, yeah. And then we're going to see another hit piece about Senator Hoodie, Brother Tennis Shoes, Brother Gym Shorts. Oh, Mr. Featherman. We're going to see another hit piece soon, after he comes out and defends and backs Trump again. Oh, boy.
And good old Philly. Now, check out these stats. Here we go. You ready for this? All 67 counties in Pennsylvania, all 67 are today more Republican and less Democrat than they were for the November 24 2024 election.
Ooh.
Every single county in the Keystone State has turned right. Every single one since November. The voter registration advantage the Democrats had just 10 years ago, which was over 1 million, has now been reduced to barely 70,000. Let that hear. At this rate, Pennsylvania will be officially red. It will have officially flipped to the GOP in terms of voter registration by this time next year, well before the midterms. According to our good friend, election analyst Seth Cashapp, who nailed the 2024 election, were the election held today with this shift to the right, President Trump would likely carry Pennsylvania by over 5 points. We've basically seen Pennsylvania shift 3 points to the right since November. J.D. Vance would carry it easily, very comfortably. And of note, this is very interesting when we consider the wider context of the so-called the 3 blue wall states, right? Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan. Michigan has always mirrored Pennsylvania for the past 8 decades and is almost certainly on the same trajectory as found here. Now, unfortunately, Michigan doesn't register voters by party, but Michigan does follow Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin follows Iowa. And Iowa, of course, has gone deep, deep red. Iowa's approaching, I think, a Republican plus 11 voter registration advantage over Democrats just over the last month. The Republican voter registration advantage is now double digits in Iowa. 56 of Iowa's 99 counties are more Republican today than they were in November. Trump thumped Cackles by 13 points in November. Today, it would be more like 16. And so the key here is that as Wisconsin always follows Iowa, so Michigan always follows Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, which had 1 million Democrat voter registration advantage just a few years ago, is now just a few thousand registrations away from officially flipping red. In 2008, at the height of the Obama era, the Democrat voter registration advantage over Republicans in Pennsylvania was 1.2 million. When Trump originally won Pennsylvania in 2016, that Democrat voter registration advantage was still just over 900,000. In those 8 years, the Democrat voter registration advantage has shriveled to now just 74,000. Just astonishing. We're going to have officially a red Pennsylvania by this time next year. The key significance for voter registration trends, as our good friend Seth Cashapp has consistently demonstrated his spot-on predictive analysis, voter registration is the key predictive indicator for election turnouts. People do not register for one party only to vote for the other party mere months later. How voters register is the single most accurate predictive indicator for how they will vote, including the fact that they will vote, right? Voters who register overwhelmingly tend to vote, and they overwhelmingly tend to vote for the party they registered for. That's exactly what we saw in November of 2024, and it's happening again in 2025 and 26. And without Pennsylvania, the Democrats will have been permanently locked out of executive power for the foreseeable future. There is no viable path to 270 for a Democrat apart from Pennsylvania. It's amazing stuff. Happy 4th of July. I want you to enjoy this day. I want you to savor this day. This is the
All right, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania says now Pennsylvania needs a Republican governor. It says thanks to the Amish for voting this in the last election. Thank you to the Amish. Thank you, Amish of Pennsylvania. Amish in Ohio support Trump. Save America farmers. You must credit Scott Presler for registering so many voters in Pennsylvania as Republican. Maybe I missed it. I'm from Pennsylvania, very proud of us. We need a Republican governor. No more nation-funded abortions. Yes, thank you, President Trump. Embracing my Amish family. They knew that if we didn't start voting, that we would lose our freedom. I thank all those who knocked down the doors, and for our Amish people, making them fully aware of what was at stake. All right, Pennsylvania. Some say California going red. I tell you, man. I tell you. And also New Jersey, New Jersey, New York City. Yeah, man, they running that. Quite frankly, they running everybody out of there. Yeah. You know, and then they got this new, and then in New York City, that socialist candidate, communist candidate, and they got reports on him saying he's black, and it just gets worse and worse and worse for Democrats, man. You know, it's always some hit piece that comes out, and it just gets worse, man. But let me know what y'all think of this. I love y'all. God bless y'all and your family, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace and love, you guys.